Greetings, Moon Goons! Welcome to another bonus episode of the Horrible Horror Podcast, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. With me is my buddy, my co-host, Mr. Aaron Southworth. Aaron, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm in a good mood because we have a nice bonus episode, and we are featuring Vito Trabucco. He is the director and writer of Bloody Bible Camp.
Indeed he is. This was, obviously, those who are actually watching this on video, you can see Vito right there with us as he joined us on Skype. So this will be a video as well. That'll be posted.
We're trying to get our YouTube page up a little bit. So again, thank you very much, Vito.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so let's start off. First question: was this based on a true story by any chance?
Oh, I wish.
So what inspired it? Yeah.
No, honestly, it was just kind of we started it kind of as a joke. We wanted to do kind of just we wanted to do a goof on horror on church movies. We were going to do a kindergarten massacre or something. So me and my writing partner Shelby, we just went back and forth with titles. So in the end, one day he called me up to Bloody Bible Camp, and that won. So we just at that moment in time, we just wanted to do a goofy movie. So just throwing titles back and forth until one stuck.
Well, I like the title. I thought it was fun. Even the trailer, I love going Bloody Bible.
Yeah, he's been doing that for like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I like it a lot. However, I noticed over in Europe, especially, or at least in England,
and the poster behind him.
The poster behind you, is it's called Sin. I know sometimes on foreign releases things get changed around. So what's the story with Sin not being Bloody Bible Camp?
You know, they said it that the whole bloody doesn't translate the same way. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't even think about that.
I don't know if I can swear on here, but yeah, I mean.
Oh, you can say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
go for it.
It would mean like fucking Bible camp.
That is that. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I should have known that. I feel kind of like, God, come on, man. That seems kind of obvious. But.
Oh, so I guess British bloody hell, fucking hell. I never realized that meant fucking in Britain. I thought it was just a weird slang. I didn't realize that.
It's kind of like with Austin Powers. They kept saying, and he's like, shagadelic. Everyone in Europe or England was like, Jesus Christ. He just keeps saying fuckadelic.
Right. No, we didn't. They just kind of, they named it that. But most of the people in England that watched it beforehand, like when iTunes or whatever, they knew what it was. So they actually were kind of mad when the title got changed to Sin. I don't like it either. I thought the poster looked kind of cool, but I mean, in the end, no, I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's a cool poster. I mean, Bloody Bible Camp, it kind of, even in the title itself, just kind of lets you know this is going to be more of a fun, or at least, kind of a more comedic type of horror movie.
Yeah, know what you're getting.
Yeah, you know what you're getting, but yeah. Sin, that almost sounds too scary, dark, and ugh.
Oh, it's insane, too. Like, they put 5 stars above the title. Like, you think you're watching, like, Exorcist, and you rent it. And like the back of the box cover, I got a copy of the back, looked really creepy. Like you're just watching a horror movie, like a really dark horror movie.
Yeah.
You definitely didn't do that.
So how long did it take from beginning to, from concept to the final cut of the movie? What was the entire process? How long did that take?
It went pretty long. Me and my writing partner, Shelby, I used to live in Florida. We wrote it together, I think it was like 2003 or 4. We wrote it years ago. And we wrote it like in a few days, and it was like 60 pages, the first draft. Eventually moved to LA, and I just always had it. I was shooting other things, and we would still talk about making it. And then one day I just met a buddy that kind of was into the same kind of movies. He really liked the idea of Bloody Bible Camp. We rewrote it a couple times, made it a little bit longer. And, so I think we ended up shooting it like in 2010. So it sat for like 6-7 years with nothing happening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's, whew. All right, we're getting into the movie itself. So just one thing we talked about in our episode, and I'm not sure if you ever actually listened to our episode on the movie, the whole thing, but one thing we talked about briefly was Father Dobbins in the opening scene. Was his chest hair sprayed on? Because his chest hair looked crazy.
They probably darkened it up. Yeah, I think they did, definitely. It was real chest hair, I think it was.
Okay, but it was so, I don't know, it almost looked like a chest hair wig, or like they took like that, that old hair in a can, like they kind of sprayed it on him for chest hair. It was just so dark.
Right.
And just going with the wigs, a lot of wigs in this movie. I loved Brother Zeke. Zeke's wig. That was an incredible, crazy wig. And I was curious, did you guys, I don't know the actress's name, but she was in the opening credits. She's running down the stairs, full nude, full bush. Was it a merkin?
Definitely.
Yes.
You called it.
Yes.
You called it. You called the merkin.
The funny thing
is, was really cool about it. In fact, like the effects artist Marcus, we were laughing because he was really nervous when he was going around there and putting it on and everything, because he's really good, and she just had no problem with it, and I thought it looked great. It worked out.
Yeah, it was kind of like what we were talking about in when we were talking about it. The first 10-15 minutes of the movie are so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
It's so much fun. It's such a great kill, and it's kind of like what you were saying. It's like speed dating, but speed killing the first couple
lightning round
minutes.
Yeah, lightning round. I watched that opening I went back and watched it twice before I even carried on with the rest of the movie, because it was just so much fun.
It's definitely my favorite part. I think I make jokes about it, like that was the part where our parents weren't home, because when we shot the movie, we shot the 80s part first. But I had, everyone was there, the Banister, Sullivan, so I had, it felt like I had super around, everything was by the book. We shot the opening scene, we shot that about a month later, and we just got a house for the weekend. It was a total of 10 days, and then we went up there, and we just kind of just did whatever we wanted, just goofed around, shot it, and it just turned out better, and it just kind of was a little more free-formed, and, didn't have any type of schedule. We were really kind of, was against us, so I liked it the most, too.
Could be a little bit more loose. Yeah, it was fun. I think it helped set the tone.
Yeah, it was great. The opening was so much fun. It was really enjoyable. Now, speaking of, we're talking about the cast, and you just mentioned the people that were there early. Whose idea was initially to get Ron Jeremy to play your Jesus? Because that was genius. I loved it.
I love it. Yeah, no, our original Jesus we were going to go for Paul Rubens.
Okay.
Yeah, but that would have been great. But it was right whenever he blew back up with the Pee Wee Herman show again.
Yeah.
So we're like, there's no way we can get him. So the very next part, we were like, let's Ron Jeremy, And he was so cool. Actually, in fact, my co-writer knew him because he did a co-writer did a documentary called Strip Club King, and Ron liked it a lot. So they became friends, and really cheap and came out. He was awesome. Yeah.
It's kind of funny. We've been doing this for over a year now.
Yeah.
And we've probably seen Ron Jeremy, and this is with no intention. He's probably been in 7 or 8 of our episodes.
At least 6 of movies we've done.
He gets around in more ways than one.
A lot of people out here use him. It's really funny. Yeah, I know.
But when I saw Ron Jeremy as Jesus, I cracked up. I lost it. I actually had to pause the movie because I was laughing so hard. It was just genius, and his portrayal and his lines were it was great. Yeah. So kudos for that one.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. That was probably my favorite part towards the end too. Is when he comes out.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. But obviously, Ron Jeremy, huge porn star, playing Jesus Christ. The release of the movie, Bloody Bloody Bible Camp. I'm curious, was there any backlash from the Christian community, Catholic community, and what was that like?
Not really at all. In fact, maybe when the first trailer came out, we put the first thing out, there was a couple people who commented on it, was just saying, a couple lines, they were calling us names a couple times, but after that, never. No, actually, we got no backlash. It's so goofy and kind of dumb. I think you're almost insulting yourself. And in fact, some people think it has a positive spin at the end because the girl ends up kind of seeing Jesus and everything, and I'm like, if that's how it worked out, great. So I'm gonna get it, and then that's it, But in the end, though, a lot of people look at it that way. In fact, Reggie Banister watched it later with the priest up in the area where he lives, and after he said they all liked it because it had a pretty good arc with the main girl because everyone in the movie believes in God except for the one girl. But in the end, he comes down and they save the day together. So I don't know. I guess it's a happy ending.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it that way, but I guess that's true. You look at it from that point of view, it does make sense to think of it that way.
But also, Jesus is okay with the homos.
Yeah, he's okay with a little dick sucking here and there. Just don't take kids to a murder camp, and you're fine.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny how it worked out because, we wrote it regular, but then as it got going, of course you're gonna have gay jokes when you're doing it.
Sure.
That was like, of course, And but in the script we ended up killing Father Cummings. That he was supposed to die in it. But that was the thing. Reggie was our main star, so he wanted to live, and we kind of rewrote it. So you had like a gay priest who's your hero.
Yeah.
And Tim, who played the killer, he's gay, so it kind of had like that feel to it. In fact, when we were making it, Reggie was like, this could be like an LGBT movie the way.
Almost, yeah.
I love the tranny killer idea. I think that was part of the fun of it. We wanted to do something a little bit goofy.
Yeah.
Well, I two questions I want to cover, but you just brought up Reggie and Tim in that same sentence. So, one of my questions is, how were you able to get both Reggie Banister and Tim Sullivan on board with this project, and how were you able to get them? Like, did you just know somebody?
Yeah, actually, Marcus, our effects artist, and Shelby, they worked on a prior project with Reggie and his wife Gigi. And they just talked about Bloody, and they wanted to get on board. And then after they said that, we just became friends, and then they just came on as producers and kind of went from there. It was Gigi who actually asked us if we wanted to use Tim. There's a few people we were kind of like we didn't really know who to get. And then he like Tim Sullivan, and I was like, oh yeah, it's great, because I knew he was really big, and he's a horror movie guy. It was gonna be like good energy for the movie. And she asked him, he was totally down. He was really cool, and went met him, gave him the script, and actually he said he was surprised. It was funnier than he thought it was gonna be. He was just like, because whenever he first got asked to do a movie called Bloody Bible Camp, he was like, this is just gonna be completely even tougher than we were actually gonna do. So no, they were all troopers about it. They knew what they were getting into.
Well, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now the other question I had is, because we talked about the ending, like how the main girl, I forget her name off the top of my head, but she sees Jesus at the end, and Father Cummings saves the day, or lives. But I commented on this during the episode, and it took a weird turn for me because it was campy and tongue in cheek the whole process, and which I totally got and I was on board with. But then it kind of went really a sharp right turn into slapstick for during like the fight scene with Father Cummings and Sister Mary. What kind of led you to that idea to go down the more slapstick road there?
To be perfectly honest, it was lack of footage. We couldn't get a reshoot in. We were just stuck, So we tried a bunch of things, and looking back now, I have new ideas that I could have done it probably even better. But working with the composer, we were kind of messing around, and it was really the only thing we had at that time. So I just kind of ate it, and took it. But I agree. In fact, it's my least favorite, part on there.
I'm kind of glad you say it, because I was gonna say I that's the one thing I kind of ripped on the most, was like loved the rest of the movie, and then it just went so slapstick so sudden that I just I was like, what is happening? Why? It just broke the feel, kind of took me out of the moment there. But then kind of brought me back in at the end. But the slapstick was just something that sat funny with me. And I just curious about it.
For me, because it's like this 5-second spot that's really goofy. Then it goes back to the movie again. And yeah, no, I agree. It gets me a little bit. Lack of options. I'll put that down to.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, that makes sense. I get it.
Same thing with the JJ Sister Mary showdown. I was looking forward to a fight. I was looking forward to JJ and Sister Mary knocking heads, but I mean, I don't mind him getting killed all of a sudden. It's kind of like in Indiana Jones, when Indiana Jones has got the guy with the big sword and he's throwing it back and forth and he's flipping it around, and then he just pulls out his gun and shoots him. But I was like, oh, I wanted that fight.
Yeah, we all did, and what sucked about that was my buddy David Hayes who played that, and he had to fly out like really quick, so we were. I could sit here and we could really dissect the movie. We probably all agree about what's cool and what sucks, and there's a lot of sound issues with it. There's a lot of things, and it's just because we had very little money, and it was just a strange place to shoot, and crazy shit happens, while you're shooting.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but I at the end of the day, man, we liked it. I even just recently bought my Bloody Bible Camp shirt.
Yes, he did.
For you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see. We touched on this earlier that you talked about how it was kind of offensive in the Catholic community or Christianity community.
Wonderfully offensive.
Yeah, it's wonderfully offensive movie. It kind of offends everybody in a wonderful way. But was there anything that you guys actually left out that you thought was, okay, this is maybe too offensive, we should maybe went too far with this, so we took it out?
No, once we started going, everyone was on board coming up with stuff. Okay, I'll tell you this. There was somebody who wouldn't say the back door is open for Jesus.
That's one of my favorite lines. I loved that line.
So we ended up to the girl from the 70s scene. We're like, hey, will you say this line? And she's like, oh yeah, So that's where that comes from. There was a couple times where I got a look here and there. Really, it was kind of fun with me and Reggie with the magazine. I don't know if you remember when Reggie kind of...
Communion. I remember the magazine thoroughly.
Yeah, in fact, me and my writer, Shelby, we superimpose our faces on the guys' bodies when we look at the magazine. But we had a little thing going back and forth. He's like, that's a little too much. And I was trying just to go back because his death was supposed to be his dick getting chopped off and all this crazy shit. So we were going to crucify him, and so I took all that out, trying to be really, definitely, going back and forth. And the magazine was originally called Altar Boys. And, I'm not doing a magazine with Altar Boys. So we were joking about it. I was like, come on, please do it. And eventually, okay, we'll do a different magazine. We'll come up with a different magazine. So he's going to kill me for saying this, too. So then the day of, when we were there, I didn't even say anything. I just was like, okay, we got a new magazine. I just put it on the bed and walked away. And then I'm just standing behind the camera watching, and I see him walk in. And he looks down and sees communion, and it's just like he shakes his head. It was funny, and he's a trooper. He went with it, and he wanted to kill me, I'm sure, but he still went with it. And that's how everybody was. It was really cool.
That's great. That's awesome.
If you listen to the podcast, Marshall really dissected that magazine quite a bit.
I did.
He read he paused it, read all the fun little things on it.
Yeah, I read every word on the cover, the back cover, because I was like,
Marcus Cook made that, the special effects artist. He's at my house the night before the shoot, making the cover real fast.
Because I figured if they're making that much time into this magazine, I'm going to take the time to read everything they put into it. If they went to a Kinko's or something, if they had this printed up, it would be hilarious to see walking in and see the person behind the counter saying, "Yeah, print this out for me." It was like, "What am I printing?"
Yeah, we went to Staples. They got it printed out, and the guy's looking at us really strange when he's handing it. We're just like, oh, yeah.
See, that's exactly why I stopped to pause. It's hilarious.
Perfect. Man. So I know you worked with some great actors, people who in the horror community, but there was one guy in particular who I wanted to ask a question about, and that was the guy who played Timmy. So the guy who played Timmy, if you listen to podcasts, I'm like, he either is a fantastic actor, knocked it out of the park, or he's got a little Down syndrome. I couldn't quite tell.
I got to tell you, it was one of those. I don't even know what the term is, but when you're doing auditions and somebody walks in and there's just this vibe that everybody gets equally, and you just stop and you just know that's the guy. So we're watching all these Timmys, and there was actually another guy I had my eye on. I was like, oh, I really can't wait to see this guy. And then Christopher Raff, who plays Timmy, walked in, and right away everyone just started looking at each other, and he had it within 5 seconds of being there. No, he's just a phenom. I mean, this guy is just wacky and crazy, and that's who you see in the movie. Maybe turned up a little bit, but that's his personality.
Wow, good on him. He played that part extraordinarily well. He nailed it. He did a great job with that role.
He's really fun.
Because whenever he's on the screen, and he's talking. He just I just can't take my eyes off him. But I'm like, part of me is going, is he high functioning? I don't know. Man, he nailed it. He did great.
Yeah, no, he is. He was definitely one of my favorite characters in it, and he definitely nailed it. And even when he's shirt off when he dies at the end, it's so cold. Even though we shot in California, we're up in the mountains, so it snowed the last day. It's freezing up there, and he's walking around with his shirt off, laying on the ground. They didn't complain one time while I was up there, though. He's great, Christopher Raff. I'm surprised he didn't blow up or something, because he's so crazy. So we're like something's gonna happen. Everyone started using him afterwards. And I was really hoping something was gonna take off with him as far as that goes.
Well, maybe time will still.
Yeah, maybe he can still get it. So good luck to him.
Yeah, hopefully. Definitely.
In his death scene, well, I love the special effect. I thought it looked very cool. I'm from a medical background. I just his head wouldn't just explode. I mean, it would hurt. It would be traumatic. Might even kill him. But I love the effect. I thought the effect was.
Oh, it looked great.
I thought it looked great. But yeah, I just couldn't let it go.
It's a lot of that's financial as far as what you don't see, but we definitely wanted to go all the way with his kill. I mean, originally he was going to be standing up and his head exploded. I forgot how it was going to happen, but his head explodes. But barely any money, and like literally while we were there, we're like, okay, how are we going to kill you now? And then we just start figuring stuff out, and so that's kind of how like Timmy died. We just started talking about it. Marcus is really good with kind of like really quick editing and making things happen like that. So it worked out.
Yeah,
awesome.
It looked great.
Well, speaking of, while we're talking about the kills, again, one thing we do on our show is we have a segment called Favorite Kill, where we pick our favorite kills from the movie. Aaron, yours was
Tad. I like Tad's death. I just liked seeing that like cascade waterfall of
blood and intestines.
Guts just go,
Yeah,
I like that.
My personal my favorite kill was Backdoor for Jesus Girl. And more so it was the guy who was banging her from behind. It looks like he gets his dick cut off and then killed. So I picked that as my favorite kill. So
I think you called it dick-capitation.
Yes, dick-capitation is what the term I coined.
I love that.
So let's ask, as you're being close to the father of this project, what was your favorite kill in the movie? What was your one that you really stood behind and you enjoyed the most?
Yeah, my favorite in the whole movie is I call it the ATM kill, and that's whenever Chopper is behind Brittany and he sticks it in her mouth. So the ATM kill is my favorite, and Jessica's a real good friend of mine, so it was just fun doing that, and it was great. It was great.
Like ATM.
Yeah, SML. We debated that because we were both probably going to pick that too as our kill, but then. In those post credits, when you see her walking in a while, she's like, she's not really dead. We're like, well, we can't call it a kill then. She's not dead.
That's true. Technically, it's not. Right.
But I loved that we said that's one thing we have never seen before in a movie, and it was.
Goddamn.
It was, that was a goddamn moment. It was pretty awesome.
That's something that we talked about too. I remember one time I saw an interview with the writer of Reanimator, and he was always like, he talked about the head eating out the girl, and he's like, always put something in your movie that's never been seen before. So that was one thing we talked about. Like, let's just do something over the top and do it. So we all just talked about it, and it was great. I loved how it worked out.
Well, you nailed that because that was a crazy bonkers awesome scene, and it was really cool.
Yeah, because
that's awesome.
When in the podcast, Marshall breaks it down, and at the end, I'm just listening to him describe it. We don't have a video. We've seen it already, seen it once or twice, but I just heard him the way he describes it. I'm like, God damn, that's weird and just crazy. I've never seen it before.
Yeah. Let's see what you kind of touched on this earlier. So looking back on the process now, like what is there anything that you maybe again the slapstick stuff or what is there anything you would change about the movie now if you could add time machine, go back and change something, or would you just leave it the way it is?
Well, in the end, I always like leaving things the way it is. I hate when people go back and touch up anything. You got to suck up. This is what you give everyone. But of course, I could grade it and tell you what I would have wish I could have done differently. And when I see people who review it, even whenever I disagree or agree, one thing is kind of the common thread is the beginning and end are cool and the middle's boring. Nothing's going on in the middle. The main reason why I think that happened is I'm definitely even Shelby and a few of us are more comedy guys, I think, and we can just keep going on that and we don't realize we're not killing anybody. And after that was a good lesson. Now I need to keep putting kills somewhere as you keep doing it, but that was a huge mistake, I think. We filmed, we thought we filmed in a good area, but that had a lot of crazy sound problems that gave it to us. But, you could definitely dissect it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We've seen a lot of movies, and maybe there was a sound issue here and there, but at the end of the day, I mean, we go through with a fine-tooth comb. I don't really remember finding any sound.
No, that excuse me.
Nothing that was, like wow.
Yeah, compared to some of the other things we did, the sound issues were not something we really picked up on or even touched on. There have been some where we've really laid into them for their sound quality, but this was not, I do not remember it on this one either. So it wasn't that bad, or at least very noticeable for us. Before I go into some final questions, was there anything else you had want to bring up?
No, not really. I mean, not that I kind of have my questions. My favorite one was Merkin.
Okay, the Merkin one. Okay.
Yeah,
I guess quick yes or no, maybe, or other plans, or will there be and plans in the work, or would you like to even do a Bloody Bible Camp 2? Will any kind of sequel in the works?
It's cool. We actually talked about it. I do have something written for it already, so we can kind of go into it and start shooting. A couple people want to. I look, and we. I don't know, it's just weird. It wasn't like this financial hit to go into a sequel. So I'm like, do we really want to do one or not? But then some people are like, yeah, just do it. It's going to help the first one and you'll have more money. And I definitely like the idea I have for a sequel. It's definitely, I think, complements the first one well. So I would definitely, maybe is the best way I can say it.
All right, that's fine. Maybe is a good answer. I mean, I can accept it is what it is. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, because you left the door open.
Yeah,
with that,
for sure.
With that little ending right there, you left the door open so that the possibility of Sister Mary Chopper could come back. I think that could be fun.
Maybe Brittany comes back. Her ass is all healed up now. She comes back.
Maybe she's become quite smitten with Sister Mary Chopper.
Yeah, maybe she becomes Sister Mary's partner in crime or something. Yeah. Another question that we ask everybody we talk to. Like I said, we're in the horror movies. We all love them. What is your favorite, or one or two favorite horror movies of all time that are good? And then give us, what's one of your favorite bad horror movies? The ones that are so bad that turn out to be good, but you love them anyway.
Okay, let me do the bad one first.
Sure.
As soon as you do the bad one, the first one that comes to my mind is Miami Connection.
Okay.
Have you guys seen that?
I have not, no, but this is why, one reason why I asked, so I learned more and I can write it down.
Please do. It's unbelievable. I can't even explain. I accidentally watched it. It was on Netflix one time. They took it off right away because it just became such a hit. And I think it was Alamo Drafthouse that picked it up and put it out. And it's unbelievable. I can't even tell you. It's the best, one of the best bad movies of all time, definitely.
Miami. Okay.
Cool.
So yeah, this is something we'll probably have to check out.
Yeah, we'll check that one out.
Yeah, no, I finished that. Favorite movies, we all like the same ones that are great. We all love Halloween. We all love Texas Chainsaw. We can go on all day.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. The cool little ones, it's funny. I don't even know if it's a horror movie, but I always say it kind of maybe started, a lot of them. Have you ever heard the movie Blow Up by Michelangelo Antonioni? It stars David Hemmings. Do you know David Hemmings? He was from Deep Red, the Derek movie.
This is news to me.
Oh, it's a great movie. It's one of those movies when you get done watching it, you realize like the director's smarter than you, and you're just like, oh, this is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But yeah, Blow Up's a great movie. It feels like it's maybe actually like for Giallo films that came in the 70s with Italians. It feels like that's where it came from. That's the first movie,
cool.
In my opinion. So definitely Blow Up is a great one. Another one. Let me think. Along the same lines then of that genre. There was a film that came out. They just re-released it on Blu-ray called "What Have You Done to Solange?" Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't heard
actually, can you say that again? The sound kind of. I didn't.
What have you? I know I have braces. Sorry, I can't talk. It's called "What Have You Done to Solange?"
Okay, no, it's not what I.
With Bill Keaton from "I Spit on Your Grave," and
okay.
It's in that Giallo kind of filled by European filmmakers, and it's really out there. It's good, and Blow Up's another one. I definitely think it's not really horror, but I think horror filmmakers should watch it. It's like one of those like lessons that you can just pick up so many things from it.
That's wonderful. That's like those get the news to us. So that gives us something to look into and continue to check out.
I love talking horror with people because I'm a kid from the 80s,
we're definitely 80s.
Just like you said, it was, Texas Chainsaw, Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason, but, beyond my local video store, which I had was, at work here in St. Louis, and I grew up outside of it, so we didn't have a lot of exposure to, a lot of other movies than what just in our video store, and then, now the internet's opening up a whole lot more, but I'm getting back into horror the last couple of years, so it's like, I feel like I've missed either a whole lot of stuff before me and a whole lot of stuff in between, I guess, basically 98 to present day. So when we're having these conversations, man, it's really opening up my eyes to a lot of good stuff.
And me too.
It's absolutely funny. You talk about best movies, too. If I can say one more. We were just talking about best haunted house movies the other day, me and a few other people. And they were naming what they thought the best one. And I thought my favorite, have you guys ever seen The Changeling with George C. Scott?
I've heard of it. I have not seen it yet, but I am aware.
It's like a masterpiece, horror, haunted house movie, and it's my favorite of any haunted house movie ever made. And just throwing another one out there.
We did Scare Zone. That one actually kind of liked.
Scare Zone was another really low budget movie. Turned out pretty good. Like, I really enjoyed it. But I'll tell you one I did not like, and I will stand by my fear of this. I did not like this movie called The Houses That October Built. It was a story. If you've heard of it, I don't know. Yeah. It was a matchup between we want to be found footage and we want to be haunted house. We did that one. I went off on that. I hated that movie.
You know what I don't like, and what movie everyone liked, you guys might like it. I get into arguments constantly, and I watched it. I'm like, this movie is shit. Is The Witch?
Yes. Yeah. The Witch.
I was like, it's just a guy hitting logs all the time. I did not like it. The climax was it's anticlimactic. I mean, it was beautiful. It was really great looking. The art direction, the cinematography, the acting was really good. Everything was great in it, except for just the story that you have to watch. And I just sat there trying to get through it, and it just got a lot of hype, and I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, I guess I did that. Now, before I guess we start wrapping this up, this is shameless plug time. Is there anything you want to plug or that you're working on now that you want people to know about, or
people that you work with that you want to know about,
or Facebook, Twitter, anything if people can follow your progress on things?
Yeah. Everything I do is at Vito Trabucco, my full name, like Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. What I'm doing now is I'm going to be doing another feature at the end of the year, but during the summertime, I'm doing a web series called "Watch the Pretty Girls Suffer" with the girl from Bloody Bible Camp, the Jennifer girl who lives at the end.
Okay.
Me and her wrote this series together. So a bunch of us are doing that right now, and we're almost done filming that. So that's supposed to come out. We're going to premiere it online. We'll be on Halloween.
Awesome.
And, so it's pretty cool, and we're having a good time shooting it. And it's definitely it's pretty gruesome. And I'm doing a documentary on there's a stuntman actor named Al Leong. Have you heard his name?
No.
Al Leong. You know his face.
Okay.
You know his face, definitely. And he's been the face all throughout the 80s of the henchman, goon, bad guy. All throughout the 80s you've seen him, and he's just a very recognizable face. And he's just a great guy, has a great fan base, so we decided to do a documentary about him. And that's been going great as well. We're almost done with that. And there's a trailer online for it, and it's called Henchman, the Al Leong Story.
Henchman. Let me ask you this, because hearing the last name, is he Asian?
Oh yeah. He's been in Big Trouble.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. He's got kind of the body, but long hair and the Fu Manchu mustache.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about. He's like the bad guy in everything in the 80s.
Right.
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
I think one of my favorite scenes with him is in Die Hard when he's waiting for the squat guys and he reaches over and grabs a candy bar and starts eating it. Love it.
I actually heard this. I didn't realize this was you doing that, because I actually heard about this the other day. I want to think on the radio. I was listening to somebody talking about. They were talking about the extra from Big Trouble in Little China and the candy bar scene, and a documentary about this guy. That's awesome. So you're the one doing it.
Yeah, so I'm really pumped about it. I really like it a lot, and we're getting a lot of fun interviews for it. So hopefully we'll have that out here soon.
Do you have an estimated kind of hopeful release date for that?
I doubt we can do the end of this year. That was the fingers crossed to start getting good cuts, but it's tough getting the interviews during the summer. People are doing things, right. So you book an interview, and the day before, they're like, "Oh, sorry, I'm in Paris," or something.
That's what I did to you. Which, by the way, we're making an offer on the house, so
there you go. Yeah,
good that's all I had. So everybody out there, if you want to follow him, check out these new projects. Remember, it's Vito Trabucco, VITO. TRABUCCO on, like you said, it's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all this stuff. And these projects sound really awesome. I'm interested in both of these. The Girls Suffer and Henchman sounds awesome.
Projects sound fantastic, and of course, we really enjoy Bloody Bible Camp.
Bloody, but I can't do as good as you do. There it is. But yeah, so we do want to say thank you very much, Vito, for taking the time out of your day to do this interview with us and talk a little Bloody Bio Camp. This has been really awesome.
Yeah, it was a great fun movie.
Yeah.
We highly recommend it. So, we put it up on our Instagram, put it back on our Facebook, it's on our webpage, so anybody who watch it, listen to our podcast,
and then go watch the movie. It's definitely worth watching. It's an enjoyable ride.
Rent it, buy it, and they got shirts for sale too.
And get yourself a Blade Bible Camp shirt. All right, again, thank you very much, Vito. We will let you go.
Thank you guys.
Best wishes to you and continued success. So have a good day.
All right, thank you, Vito. Take it easy.
All right.
All right, you guys, take care.
All right.